Hey guys, uh, as you know, doing a 68 Mustang. If you've looked at any of my other videos, that's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing. Pretty much working by myself on this. Um, right now I'm going to talk about, not, I'm not going to talk about the car. I'm going to talk about some of the things that I have and some of the tools that I have to do the car. I also have my Civic hatchback that I'm doing the body work on to paint. But right now it's about the Mustang and what's needed to do a restoration job as a do-it-yourselfer. Okay, so what we have is a garage. This is 35 by 35, has LED lighting, heat, three door, three bay garage. Um, okay, so some of the items that I've critically needed are obviously a good set of tools. Then you need a good storage system. Now, this is not my storage system. This is simply parts that I'm going to be using on the car right now, which is why they're out now. This is a Eleanor body kit from Mustangs to Fear. Fitted up some of the parts. It fits well. Yeah, so that's that. So, what have I needed? First off, need a good set of ear tools. Like, it's critical. And I don't have $5,000 or $10,000 to go and buy half of these tools retail. So what I do is, as I need them, I go on eBay or I go to a flea market. Connecticut has tons of flea markets. I'm sure wherever you are, you have tons of flea markets. And then I got that. I got every tool I need based on either basis. So one thing I want to note when doing anything with pneumatic tools, if you look at these two ear couplings or fittings, I should say, this one here is a quarter. This one here is a 3/8. They're both automotive fittings. But if you notice the size, air guns and air tools run on air. So if you can't get the air to the tool, it's not going to perform efficiently. So I recommend that you fit up all your tools, especially your spray guns, with this type of fitting. It's going to help you in the long run. And it's a 3/8 automotive fitting. I got it from Lowe's. You can buy it in the kit. It comes with the fitting, coupler. They all take quarter MPT side. So that's the same. So it's just a matter of what goes on the business end. So high flow fittings definitely needed. All my tools have performed 10 times better based on using that. Good electric drill, can't hurt you at all, because the problem with air is that if you have a small air compressor or you don't have a two-stage, every time you're using some of these tools, you gotta wait for the compressor to recharge or fill back up with air, and that just gets annoying. Again, told you that I buy eBay tools. What we got here, or Craigslist. Craigslist is like vital. I have here is I have Satajet 2000, Satajet 3000, and Eastwood's Evolution gun. I've used this to spray base, primer, and clear. When I first started painting, because I didn't know anything about painting and I didn't want to spend or invest the money in higher end paint guns if I didn't have the money. So this is like $100 gun. This has now become my dedicated primer gun. And you also see that I have the proper fitting and a gauge with an adjustment for the air pressure. And I have a 3M cap for the paint. It's 3M's PPS system. So that's on all the guns. If you're going to buy used spray guns, make sure that they look decent. And or you can hopefully maybe test them out, because I've heard horror stories on used spray guns. So, food for thought. Just because this is a 3000, this is a 2000. Obviously, they're older because right now the 5000 is out. But essentially, if you're doing a paint job, these guns are supposed to last you for years. They're German made, and the newest sneakers is not necessarily better than the old sneakers, they're just new. So I know that the reviews for both of these guns have been great. So as a DIY person, there's no need to spend the money on a ridiculous spray gun. And if you look up here, you can see that most of what's up here is Eastwood products. I love that company. They have everything for a DIY guy, and they have it for cheap, but good quality. So I like their products. The products have worked for me. 90% of that car has been done using their products. So, keep that in mind when you're doing your car, that you're going to need at least 80% of the things I have in this garage. So at one point or another, between the engine hoist, blasting cabinet, the cabinet is kind of a luxury item, but we'll get there. So what I have is an assortment of sandpapers to go up to remove grit scratches as necessary. This is a TKO 500 transmission, Craigslist. Sanding cabinet, luxury item, fitted with a desiccant and a high flow fitting for that as well. These fittings are not expensive. You can get 3 in a pack for like $10, and depending on how much air tools you have, the most you'll probably spend is like $50. Compressor, didn't skimp on that. 60-gallon compressor. I've used a 25-gallon for years, so it's not like I don't know the trials and tribulations. But at the end of the day, if you want good quality jobs, especially if you're painting and or doing any kind of mechanic work, you need air. So that's that. With that, I have a 5-stage dryer that came later on. So, however you want to dry your air, you can. I have that. It's just easier for me. Other people, what they do is that they want to cool the air. So what happens is the air comes very hot from here, from the compressor, condenses, gets into your lines, and then afterwards gets into your tool and or your paint. Can cause fisheye, a whole bunch of other nasty crap. So that just dries it. The alternative is to run piping going through your garage with either copper or some of those, garage kits that you can get to do up the garage. So that's going to be something you need to evaluate yourself in your budget. I have a Lincoln Electric. I bought this new years ago. Works great. Eastwood's TIG welder. That's relatively new. Haven't had much time using it yet, but I've done some practice welds. It welds good. Only thing I don't like about this is there's no digital gauge to see when you're using the pedal what voltage you're at or anything. So that's a little annoying. I like to know where I'm at when I'm using the pedal so I can just be consistent. So just gonna have to feel it out. I have a welding table. You can see some rod on there, and that's also a luxury item. So, well, I'm kind of bypassing the biggest item here. It's probably the lift. With the lift, you can get a full standard size lift, but you have to make sure that your area, your height of your garage, wherever you're going to place it, is within dimensions, and the floor is within thickness required for installing a standard lift. And I think the standard you need is 11 and a half, and I'm about a quarter shy of that. So I got the base plate lift, which is not the most convenient, but with Greg Smith equipment is great because they get a little advertisement from me, but it's great because the with this system, you don't have to have 11 and a half feet. A lot of people don't, but a lot of people do have 9 feet, and that's the requirement necessary. So, but just be careful with your car and your height. The height of your car from the mounting point can be different per car, so you just want to be careful not to, damage the ceiling. On a standard lift, there's a pole that disconnects from it shorts out the system essentially, and when it's up there and it travels across and it shorts out the system when you're about to hit the ceiling, so that you don't go up too high with it. This you gotta just be careful. Body stands, another critical thing. You see my side skirts are on here. It's good for doing things like that. What else? I would say one of my biggest assets for metal work is a big box of sheetrock screws and a Beverly shear. This thing will cut beautifully. It'll cut curves. It won't cut straight, but you could use shears for that. It cuts semi-straight. You just kind of gotta watch it. If you want those like real straights, you need like a shear, like a press type of shear that just goes straight down. But this does a great job of making those little intricate cuts that you might need for curves. So that's been critical. And a good vise, necessary. These two necessary. These two also together will probably cost you $150. So that's not bad at all. Belt sander.